So I creeps, yeah, just keep it on the down low. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy DJ Richie Skye back in the building. And of course, we are talking love and marriage DC tonight, baby, on the late night creep. If you are just joining into the Ponderosa, make sure you guys let us know where you watching from and that good chatterization. Y'all know what's funny? I got this new mic, right? So I've had it for a while, but you know what I realized? All I gotta do is hold a mic up to my mouth real like this. I ain't got to scream and holler no more. Y'all know my throat had been bothering me for like weeks and weeks because I be screaming, because y'all know I be passionate, right? So I finally realized, I said, let me play some of these things back one good time. And I was like, oh, snap, that might be working, baby. So now y'all about to get this grown and sexy all up in the mic like this, okay? I just thought I would give y'all that little bit since we on this late night creep tip. What's up, Williamsburg, Virginia, Fort Worth? We got Waldorf in the building, Tennessee, Philly. I see you, Louisiana. I appreciate y'all for being up so late with me. Be more. Who else is in the business? California, the business. I said the business, the building. Landover's in down the street in Landover, Dallas, baby. Dallas, 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 Louisville. Yes. New London, St. Louis. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Sheena says DC is a little slow for me. So you know what? I was thinking about that myself earlier tonight as I was watching the episodes, and I was like, well, you know what? To be quite fair, I did not get into the first season of Huntsville until it had already came out. So as it was going into its second season, that's when I really started to get into it. So I binge watched the first season. So I will say, I mean, because this is a new show, you kind of have to let it grow some legs. And there's some evidence that I see here with some promising scenes that I think happened in this particular episode that really allows us to get to know each of the couples a little bit better, because I feel like those walls are starting to come down. Okay. Hey, T Ness, thank you so much. Says, all right, Richie, let's get into it. You better sing creep. Okay. Sunshine State, baby. Thank you so much, T-Ness. I appreciate you. And yes, Huntsville was definitely. See, here's the thing though. Huntsville had a different element going into it that I felt like already lends itself to television drama. Like for me, it's like watching Love and Hip Hop Atlanta season 1 versus watching some of the other franchises in the Love and Hip Hop franchise, because let's face it, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta season 1, you had Stevie J, Jocelyn, and Mimi. So that to me was already kind of like was the thing that was going to set it off. And with Huntsville, which was supposed to be more of an HGTV show, ended up becoming what it is because of the infidelity that went on between Martell and his other, you know, the other lady involved. You know what I'm saying? So I would encourage you guys to get to know these characters a little bit better. And I think tonight's episode is a perfect example of us getting to know them. And and I think that as we get to know them and we get more invested in them, and we have certain types of scenes that I'm going to talk about right here in this review, then I think we'll start to become more invested in them, and we will start to feel that energy that I feel like we're definitely going to be getting in the next couple of episodes. All right. So I want to start off first with Ange 29 Boo says Arena and the extra DC accent makes it lit for me. Arena has that DC accent. Yes, she does. Absolutely. 110%. And I definitely felt like this was definitely an Arena focused episode. And I kind of like that. And I will tell you why. Because I felt like we needed to see that level of transparency in her relationship, even if it was to the detriment of Jamie, who does not necessarily want to be that transparent. But baby, this is reality TV, and we need to see something that we can relate to. And this is the element where we're gonna get that. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10, and I'm gonna give this episode a solid 8. I'm gonna give it an 8 because there wasn't really a lot of explosion on this particular episode, but there was a lot of nuance. And I will tell you guys that from a critical viewer's eye, you need episodes like this, especially early on in a franchise where you get these one-on-one scenes to really get into the nitty-gritty of the episodes. And I'm going to tell you that Winter to me is the perfect example of a great reality TV personality because she was able to pull some things from her conversation with Arena that I felt like were very, very important in getting to know, and she did it with the greatest of ease. I also liked the fact that we got to see it, to me, getting into Arena's head and with her family is also key as well. And getting to know Jamie, even though he doesn't want to be as open as Arena, also is pivotal as well. And then we, of course, we get that ending scene with Chris and Monique and them basically shutting down production at the end. Listen, I'm like, y'all ain't even got back from Africa good. The clothes ain't even unpacked yet. The clothes ain't even unpacked yet. And y'all already getting up into it. So we got to, of course, break that down. And y'all know, of course, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my opinion. And let me tell you something. Y'all know what I love more than anything else in the world. I love supporting other people. So y'all go follow Tony's uh is it Norisus Tony? Listen, go follow his channel, okay? If you got a channel and you wanna promote it, go ahead and throw it up here. Y'all know y'all know how I do it. Y'all know how I do it over here, okay? Y'all know how I'm gonna do it. Let me tell you something about Jason. That boy, if you when you meet him in person, he has energy. And when I say energy, I'm an energy person, right? And shout out in the chatterization if you like this too. I'm an energy person, and I feel like because we on the late night creep, I ain't got to even I'm not even going to rush through this. We're gonna have a little conversation tonight because I feel like why not? It's after dark, okay, and I'm in my robe. Um, when you meet Jason in real life, he has the best energy. And, for him to have an impairment, you would think that it would make him be a little bit more subdued, but he's not. He has the energy and the spark that is just like it's infectious when you are around him. And it's just so nice to see. Someone asked when I'm doing Huntsville. I will be doing Huntsville tomorrow at around 11 o'clock. Okay. I have to pace these things out. When you got 3 back-to-back shows, I'm going to do likely a recap of the nightcap tomorrow morning. And then I will get the Huntsville review out live tomorrow. Cause I just feel like with Huntsville, we got a lot more to process. And I want to make sure that everybody is up for that one as well. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes, on the late night creep. Yes. Little robe ain't never hurt nobody. Y'all know y'all like to walk around in a little robe. So let's go ahead and dive into the episode because we start this episode back where we left off. Okay. We are back where we left off at the Ocean Prom with the ladies minus Monique. Okay. Winter is annoyed that Ashley is coming across so aggressively. Ashley says that she's sorry. Winter is going through all this madness in real time, but Winter wants Ashley, hey, get to know me outside of all of this mess. And Ashley's like, well, maybe if we stop mentioning the mess, then I can get to know you better. Okay. So they all agree that they're not going to talk about Kevin, the alleged scammer, anymore. Okay. Which is definitely good. So then they divert their attention to the dinner from Monique's house. And Arena mentions that Jamie has done his dirt and she's done her dirt as well. Okay. She didn't want them to leave the dinner party thinking that they thought that they were perfect or whatever. And Ashley admits that she and Quick cheated before they got married and it was a tit for tat thing. So we're still slowly starting to peel the layers back on each of the couples. So Ashley says her and Quick have built a solid foundation and that people can say anything because she's married to someone who's famous and she's just not going to go searching for anything. So Winter is like, well, does that mean that you don't care to know? Okay. Ashley says no, it just means that she's not going looking for anything. And Arena feels the same way as long as she doesn't see or hear with her own eyes. And then they all toast to becoming better acquaintances. So let's talk about that for a second, real quick. For me, I feel like I'm no marriage counselor. I am no I'm no marriage counselor. I am no, relationship expert or guru. I am simply somebody who enjoys the topic of relationships and enjoys investigating the nuances of different relationships that we see on television and talking about the psychology behind it. Okay. So, in that, I just want to acknowledge that fact first, but I also want to say this. Y'all, if you feel like you are in a situation where you, and let me make myself bigger so I can really hammer this into somebody because somebody need this tonight. I don't know who it is, but somebody out there might need it. And if they're not watching now, they're going to watch it later. If you feel like you need to go searching and creep crawling through whoever you are dating, your partner, your significant other, your situationship, your sometime ship, your whatever the situation is, then you're probably not with the right person. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right there now. Either you're not with the person or they're not with the right person. Because if you feel like you need to go creep crawling through the text messages, the phone calls, the social media, and stuff like that, you are gonna drive yourself crazy. Okay, you're gonna drive yourself crazy, and you can't do that. Okay, you just can't do it. If to me, I always feel like this: if you got an inkling that you need to do that, and this is why I say that, if you got an inkling that you need to do that, then you probably should not even be with that person. Don't stress yourself trying to, find the unlocked password and whatnot to go and get all up and through the business, because otherwise I just feel like if you have the mind to search for something, you probably gonna find what you're looking for. I want that to sink in for you just a little bit. If you have the mind to go search for it, you're probably going to find what you're looking for. And that means to me that your instincts are probably on the right track anyway. So go ahead and save yourself the trouble of trying to turn into Dick Tracy and inspect the gadget, and just go on ahead and leave the situation alone. Or if you feel like that and you feel like there is some, distrust in the relationship, have a candid conversation about it and then just keep it moving, because otherwise, chances are either you not going to find out, or you will find out. But I always feel like this: if it ain't meant to be, you ain't got to do all that. You just don't. You just don't. Follow your instincts. But a lot of times what I'm saying to y'all is not going to come to you until you get a little older and a little wiser, and you just realize I don't have time for this. I don't have time to be doing all of that. Like, who has the energy for it? You know what I'm saying? Something like that might have been cool when you, and excuse me if you are in your 20s when I'm and you watching this. But even if you are in your 20s, let me go ahead and hopefully help save you some time and some angst. If you feel like you got to do all that type of stuff, it ain't even worth it. Okay? Bottom line. Toya says, now compare that thought to Letitia Scott's situation. Well, I think that Letitia is in a quite different situation, because what's happening is somebody has alerted her. See, I think that before this show, Letitia was probably living in happy, blissful land, right? And then on this show, Martell makes an insinuation that that Marceau has like 20 other women on the side. So that tipped the scales, and it made the people in the audience wonder, and then it starts to make Marceau's family wonder, and so now people are looking for stuff. Okay, so that's, I think, a different situation wherein people are coming to you, okay, and saying all of these things to you, and now you got to keep asking these questions. To me, if your partner can't give you the grace enough to simply say yes or no, this is not true or this is true without tiptoeing, punani popping, and going all around the mulberry bush, then to me, I felt like if they can't give you that grace, then you don't need to be with them. But that's just my thoughts. Okay. Meanwhile, okay. Over to the DTLR Inc. We get a scene where Ashley has to go and visit DJ Quicksilver's right hand man, Sean, who helps make things work in DJ's Quick's life. So, CIAA is coming up, and CIAA now has moved from Charlotte to Baltimore. So that means that Quicksilver is feeling like he needs to put in extra work because he needs to put on for his city. Okay. But Ashley's like, no, 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 no. I need some time with you, man. So I'm gonna need to go to the person who worked your schedule to make sure that I can get some time with you and you get some of these gigs off the table. Okay. So when Quick does arrive, we learn that Quick has had some accidents from working so hard and working so long and working so late that his exhaustion has taken over and he's ended up on the side of the road. And to me, those are all the warning signs I need to know that I need to slow myself on down. Okay. Because God will always let you know when you need to slow it on down. And if you don't listen to the signs that he's trying to give you, he will slow you down. Okay. And he will make you come to a complete and utter halt. So to me, while I understand Quicksilver's desire to work, listen, I put myself through some of the same paces. Y'all have no idea. I will go on vacation and I will still work. I will be out of town and I will still work because I love what I do. But also, too, I feel like I have a responsibility to myself to ensure that I take any and every opportunity that comes my way because I'm all about the blessings and everything that God is bestowing upon me. But at a certain point in time, you also have to learn how to say no. And that's also a form of self-care. Because if you don't take care of yourself, and especially if you ain't taking care of your spouse, then that's a whole nother heaping world of trouble. So he's gonna have to find a middle ground if he wants to maintain the level of success that he's hoping to maintain, because otherwise he is destined for a burnout. Okay. Um, Charmaine, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, I listen. I understand it. Sometimes you need a partner that is going to help you recognize when to slow down. And I know that sometimes it may feel like, I mean, dang, like, if I didn't have to like to, if you be thankful for your relationship, but then you also be like, ooh, but I could also be working like 24/7 making XYZ money. But the reality of it is this: you can make all the money in the world, okay? But it is not gonna, when you look back at your life, the things that you are gonna appreciate the most is the time that you spent with the people that you love. And that's real. That's for real. Okay. I like that. I like that. Marilyn says this is a sign to sit down or get laid down. Okay. Sheena says he needs a driver. Boom. Problem solved right there. Problem solved right there. At that level, you need a driver. And that's for real. That's actually I mean, I think that is what it is. You need a driver. That would help the situation a lot right there. And I like that. Sheena, you on it tonight, baby. You on it. Um he scared me. I had to tell him about him. So listen, sometimes that's what you got to do, right? Um Meanwhile, for now, Monique and Chris are off in the Africa feeling at home in the Serengeti. Okay. And all I could think to myself are the memories of Africa, baby. Oh, I want to, y'all know what I really want to do? Just as an aside, I really would love to find a way to have a travel agent arrange for some type of Sky Squad trip to the motherland, okay? And just get about a good 30 of us to go to the motherland and spend about a week and just live, okay? Just live. I am telling you, it will change your life. Okay. I'm gonna figure it out some kind of way. I've been saying that since the first time I came back from Africa, but I really need to find a way because it will change your life. All right. More on that to come. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna pray on it. Okay. So we get a scene with Jamie and Arena, and she's speaking to her son Jason, who has a vision impairment, and she really wants to know what he wants to do because she's been preparing to get him into this program called Doors that will help him live a more independent life, but also prepare him for working and everything else that he wants to do. And he is actually very focused on trying to get a job with Apple. So he needs to tell his dad that he does not want to be a DJ as Jamie is trying to, sort of push him in that path. Um, so Arena is going to arrange for a family dinner to have that discussion. Personally, I felt like she should just have that conversation with Jamie and Jason alone, but because it's TV, you got to have that conversation with the entire family. Okay. I mean, that it is what it is. And I felt like, Irena was doing her job on this episode. Okay. Speaking of which, she wants to go and get to know Winter a little bit more. So they meet up for drinks and things like that. And immediately when Irena asks if Winter felt okay with things with Ashley, Winter immediately puts her guard up and is like, "Ooh, I feel like Irena is trying to play both sides because if she wanted to get to know me, she would just be asking me about me and not about Ashley." I kind of just took it as Arena just wanted to know if, hey, did you feel like everything went smoothly, at the last time we was all together? I mean, it's really, to be honest with you, a valid question. And I would have asked the same thing. I might not have asked it right off the jump, but I definitely would have asked. Anyway, Winter felt like Ashley was being aggressive, but she was glad she apologized. And that now that she herself is older and wiser, she doesn't approach situations in the same way that Ashley did to her. So then they get on Kevin, and Winter says she's been dealing with that Kevin situation for months. She says at this point she's 40 in abstinence because she feels like the sex makes women crazy. Um, I think sex can make anybody crazy, to be honest with you, especially if it's good. Usually it will make you crazy if I feel like the situation is toxic. Think about it like this. I mean, to be honest with you, it's probably some of the best sex, and we talking late night after dark, y'all. So let's go on here. Yes, I got on Dennis's robe. I'm kidding, 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 kidding. Okay. Um, I feel like some of the most toxic situations you probably have had the best sex with. I mean, come on, let's just have a real we having a real ponderosa right now. Y'all know what it is. It's always with somebody that was toxic. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's really the only time that the sex will mess you up when it's with somebody that's toxic. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. Anyway, um, they get on Jamie and Arena and their dirt, okay? And she says that Arena says that her dirt happened on the social media. She was inboxing and flirting with some people or whatever. But she says she never stepped out and she never, did the sexting, like sending the nude photographs and stuff like that. And I just be thinking to myself, like, ooh, not on the gram. Don't do it on the gram. Mm-mm. No, girl, that's the wrong. Mm, No, okay. No, do not do that thing on the ground. Okay, that's all I can say about that. Please don't do it on the ground. Anyway, apparently Jamie caught her flirting with somebody on the gram. I don't know how he found out. I don't know if he had a little spidey sense going on in his head and he said, "Let me check your Instagram." Okay. Because if you guys pay attention, Jamie and Arena have quite the social media following, especially on the TikTok. So it ain't no surprise to me that somebody might have then crept up into them DMs and said, "Hey, how you doing, boo? You looking real good today." Because I ain't gonna lie, Arena got a body on her. When you look, think I'm playing, she got a body on her. So it don't surprise me that somebody might have been creeping up in them DMs like, "Ooh, you looking good up in that dress today, girl. Tell me what's going on with you? How you doing today?" Knowing good and well she married. But the people don't care. So anyway, they was like, I'm imagining this in my head. I'm totally making all this up, but in my mind, this is how it happened. Okay. So anyway, when Jamie found out, he went off talking about, I cannot believe my queen was doing all this and that and talking to these men and whatnot. But she said she did it as a result of feeling lonely. And he was going out and she would be calling over and over and over again. And he would say his phone was in the car and that he was drunk. This so hard. Let me tell y'all why this is hard. Cause I know these people. It make it hard when you know them. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I gotta be honest. You're my queen to be. I gotta be honest though. See, to me, if you are out at the midnight, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6 o'clock in the morning, if I call you, you best to pick up the phone. Okay. Now, chances are I'm not gonna call you. Okay. Because honestly, I don't have time. I would rather be asleep, to be honest with you. But if I got an inkling and I call and you don't pick up the phone, okay, I'm gonna give you the one time. But if I have to, and let me tell you something that I never do. Okay, I am not a call back twice person. Okay, I'm not. If I call you and you don't call me back, I'm not calling you again. Okay, because you know that I was calling you and I called you for a reason. Because anybody who know me know that I don't really call people like that. So if I call you the one time, you got to call me back. Okay. Ain't gonna be no. I left my phone in the car. Why's your phone in the car when you at the club? Why? Why would you do that? That don't make no sense to me. It don't make no sense to me. Then don't call me when you get in the car and you drunk. I don't want to hear it then because I don't want to talk to somebody drunk because I'm sober. Okay. So you might as well wait till you get home because I'm gonna need to have that conversation with you in person. Okay. Period. And another thing is to me, if you are out late at night in the midnight hours, then that's really when you need your phone on you the most because A, something could be happening to me, B, something could be happening to you, and then C, we need to be able to communicate with each other. If you out in the midnight hours, no, that is unacceptable to me. Anyway, she says she never called him. He never admitted to anything. And then when she did ask him about it, he would say she was tripping. And Winter is like, "Ooh, well, how did that make you feel?" And Arena says that she felt like she was seeking attention, talking to other guys, and she wonders if it was her fault because she was also busy all the time. And Winter's like, well, girl, he's an adult. Arena also thinks that she feels like she plays some part in it because she's missing the passion in their sex life. So here's where we get to the real nitty gritty of things. So he wants to just poke and jab. Okay. Y'all know what I'm talking about? He wants to just poke, jab, wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Let's go to sleep. Okay. But she is not at that point no more. Okay. She not for the poke and jab. She not for the tug and pull. She ain't for that. She needs a little romance. You know what I'm saying? Don't just slap the meal down in front of me. I need an appetizer. Can I, something warm me up a little bit? You know what I mean? Like, can you give me some passion or something like that? I mean, you got to work me up. I've been working all day. Like, get me in the mood. Do something. Okay. Don't just come up in here thinking you gonna just ram things up here to and fro and whatnot. No, we is not doing that. Okay. And I don't blame you, girl. So Winter introduces the idea of going to a couples sex therapist, and Arena is all down for it. Okay. Over at Jamie and Arena's, she's preparing a boil, and the only question I got in my mind is, girl, what is you doing with these onions? Now, I am not a cook, okay? I am not Chef Boyardee. I am not Martha Stewart, but I have definitely seen a crab boil. And you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, because listen, I ain't, but I was trying to figure out, girl, why are you cutting up these onions for this crab boil? Do you need onions for a crab boil? Somebody please let me know. Let me know in the chat. Why would you desecrate this crab boil with the taste and the texture of an onion? Ugh. I was just so disgusted. And I need to when I talk to her, I'm gonna have to ask her about that onion. I'm like, I know you don't cook a lot, but still, what would possess you? Ugh. Now, okay. Tiffany says in Louisiana, yes. Ooh. Don't let me know it then. Don't let me know that there's an onion in there, because I'm like, this will totally disturb the whole thing that we got going on up in here in this crab boil. Okay. Anyway, I digress. Arena immediately gets down into the business when everybody gets there. Listen, the boy don't want to be a DJ. He want to go work at Apple. Done deal. And Jamie is like taken aback, and he's like, "Well, what is you gonna do with your time until you get into this program? Like, I'm trying to help you make a coin right now, okay? And you being a DJ, the vision of you being a DJ with people knowing that you have an impairment is major. That story alone is major." And Jason is like, I don't want to do that. That is not my dream. That is not what I want to do. Stop trying to make me do something I ain't trying to do. And I understand it. Listen, the boy don't want to DJ. The boy want to go work at Apple. I can think of worse things that he could be wanting to do with his time. The boy wants to make it out on his own. He wants to do his own thing. He wants to get paid with a coin that he feels like is secure. I do not fault him for that. Okay. Now, the thing about Jamie is that Jamie got the spirit of the entrepreneurial hustle. Everybody don't have that spirit, and it is okay if you don't. Okay, do not let everything that you see on social media, y'all. Let me tell y'all this, and I know because this can be very, very confusing. You will look on social media, and everybody and they mama is telling you to be an entrepreneur. Everybody. Everybody know that you should be an entrepreneur. You need to be making this much money with this. You need to be flipping the houses. You need to be doing. You don't need to do all that. Do what you feel like in your spirit that you wants to do. Okay, that's what you do, and don't let nobody shame you into making you feel otherwise. Okay, that includes your parents. I'm sorry, Jamie, but in this situation, I'm on Jason's side. I'm on Arena's side. I'm on Brittany's side. Because even Brittany, Arena's daughter from her previous relationship, who Jamie has also raised as his own daughter, is like, I wish I had had this conversation when I was younger, because I just did what I felt like y'all wanted me to do. Okay. So I'm Team Jason. Jamie, you're going to have to sit this one out. If you want to go DJ, you DJ. How about that? Okay. But he's over it anyway, because he's like, I'm trying to teach you how to make a coin now. And I will admit, now, the thing about it is, I'm sure Jamie knows, because Jamie works in nightlife. Oh, I could easily get you some gigs if you go through this program and you can get these things popping. So I'm sure he sees the money signs, and I'm sure he sees that, he can set his boy up. But at the end of the day, he don't want to do that. So let him live. Okay? Let him live. All right? Anyway, Jamie and Arena goes to meet up with Quick and Ashley at some restaurant downtown. Okay. Um Jamie has to let Quick know that Jason does not want to DJ, and Quick is like, good. I mean, if he don't want to DJ, don't try to make him do something he don't want to do. So Arena then brings up the outing that she had with Winter, okay, and that Winter introduced her to the idea of a sex therapist, and then Quick is like aghast, like, what, a sex therapist for what? Are you guys not having sex? When is the last time you had sex? And I'm thinking, whoa, okay. Now I'm gonna tell you the truth. I am totally team Jamie in this situation. Now I appreciate you, Arena, for definitely being transparent enough to tell the world about the sex or lack thereof in your life. But I am in my head, I am totally Jamie. You are just telling these people all about relation issues. Okay. That's what you want to do right now, today. Okay. However, if my significant other wanted to go see a sex therapist, I would definitely go. Why not? What could it hurt? What could it hurt? If I'm not getting any now, then the sex therapist might help me get some if I want to get some. Okay. But marriage ain't all about sex. Marriage is also a business. Okay. Just to be honest with you, in case for those of you guys who are not married, I'm gonna tell you, sex is a part of a relationship, but it is not the overwhelming majority of it. And sometimes when I'm watching these shows, a lot of times couples will make you feel like that you need to be having sex every day and every 3, 4, 5 times a day, and that just ain't the case. It ain't even natural. Who got that kind of time? Okay. But at the end of the day, I feel like this. Ashley said it best. Irena is feeling like she could be part of the problem, and because she even is asking Jamie, is he upset or would he cheat because she's not letting him hit the box or whatever? And so I agree with Ashley. Irena is just feeling guilty because she knows that her husband is wanting to hit the box and she not letting him hit the box because he not doing the romance. Okay. It's an easy fix. Go on, see the sex therapist, get the romance back in the situation, and get things popping. Easy breezy to me. But he's still annoyed that she done brought all of this up in front of the group. Okay. Um, so Chris and Monique get home. Listen, I gotta be honest with y'all. They stressed me out tonight. They stressed me out. I was so stressed. I was so worried. They didn't got back from Africa. They ain't even unpacked their bags. And here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So the issue is tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what I think the issue is, because I'm gonna break it on down from the perspective of number one. This is the hard part of my job, wherein I know the people involved, but I still got to talk about them. Okay, but we do so in a respectful way. All right, but I'm gonna give you my honest thoughts because that's what we got to do. All right. So they get back from the trip, and Monique is reflecting on, hey, and the trip was jam packed, but I was hoping that we would have more aha moments, more time for ourselves and whatnot. And I will go ahead and tell you guys this: when you go, at least in my experience, when you go to a place like Africa, um, especially as a person of color or a black person in general, there is, at least for me, there is an awakening in your spirit that happens. So I can understand that she is wanting to know if he had that moment. So when she asks him that question, she of course has had that moment because Africa is a place that is near and dear to her. It's some place that she's always wanted to go and she's wanted to travel to. She's studied it. And if you know Monique, you know that Monique is the type of person that will immerse herself in whatever it is that she wants to do. She will totally immerse herself in it. She will totally get all up into the nitty gritty and learn everything about it. Because to a certain degree, she's kind of I understand it because she's like a nerd like me. And I have to be real about that. Like I'm a nerd. I'm a huge nerd. And I relate to her in that way because we want to know, okay. I want to do I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to discover. Okay. Now, just because you are like that, that does not mean that your partner is going to be like that. Okay. So let's just start there. That's number one. So the other thing is that, and there's nothing wrong if your partner is not like that because your partner contributes to your relationship in many different ways. And everybody is not going to be the same in your relationships. And you're not going to be at the same space on your journey in relationships either. So I think Chris articulated it accurately when he basically said the two of them are on a spiritual journey, and she seems frustrated that he is not at the same, he's not moving at the same pace that she is. So let's take this all back, and I'm going to tell you guys where I think it stems from. Um, we had a conversation that I'm going to put out shortly. I'm not today. I got to figure out when it's edited. But we also had this conversation on camera, right? And in the conversation on camera, we talk about an experience that she had that changed her in a very major way. And that was the altercation on the Real Housewives of Potomac. And ever since she had that moment, she has been on a different journey in her life. That was a pivot moment for her to move in a different way and to understand herself in a different light. And in doing so, in experiencing that pivotal moment and course correcting her life, she's now in sort of what I would call like hyper speed and like moving at a very like quick rate and growing at a very fast rate, probably an accelerated rate because she's had something that happened to her that was traumatic. And now she's in the I'm in a different space. I'm recovering. I am learning more about myself. And I am sure in some way, shape, or form, because Chris is also on his own journey. You know, he's retired at this point. He's figuring out what is his next step in life. He's also on a journey, but that journey may not be as accelerated as hers because it while I'm sure experienced what she experienced on some level, it did not happen directly to him. Now I can only guess that that is where the issue lies, but in my head this is what I'm seeing based on what I'm seeing on the screen and I know we talked about in the interview. Now, having said that, I think that there's a level of frustration because I feel like she feels in her head like we've been having these conversations. I don't see where you are giving in the same way that I'm trying to give. And he's just confused because he's like, well, I feel like I'm trying to do my best. I'm doing what I can in this situation. And she feels like I'm giving you all the depth of me. I'm an open book at this point. I'm an open, like, I mean, I'm giving you the vast openness of myself. And he, I think, is moving just at a slightly slower pace because for him, the change and the spiritual growth is probably a little less drastic. Bottom line. Bottom line. So the frustration that we're seeing is unfortunate because I also think that maybe he hadn't I don't think he had even maybe processed the trip in the same way that she had. Everything doesn't hit everybody at the same time, right? So my experience in Africa, while I definitely felt like I had some epiphanies, some of the things that I felt like I learned, I didn't even process them until weeks after the trip. So I can understand why he answered the question the way that he answered because sometimes it's just not, it doesn't happen for everyone at the same speed. So, anyway, that's all I can tell you from what I saw in the scene. So, at a certain point in time, she gets frustrated and she basically shuts down. And at that point, Chris is just basically like, well, okay, well, I guess she's done with the scene. Y'all can go home now, pack y'all stuff up. We done with the scene or whatever. So, He goes off and he talks to the producer or whatever, and she, ends up talking to the producer as well. And he's like, listen, I'm trying to, do my best to open up to her and, whatnot. And they have a moment in their confessional. And this is the key moment right here. She says that she's been letting her walls down and she feels like she has been very open and transparent with him. And she feels like he's not done the same. And now he feels like he's let his walls down, but she's put her walls up. And it's like they're missing each other. They're just like totally missing each other. And she wants him to break her walls down. But in my opinion, you can't break someone else's walls down. You just gotta let them down and you gotta let them stay down. That's just me. I mean, and that's just my thinking. And I definitely feel for, I mean, listen, I it's hard to say without being in the room, but based on what I see on the screen, that's how I feel about it. Boom, that part. And it's only until, listen, the thing about, I think, relationships and long lasting relationships is you can never, even as frustrated as it might be, you can never keep your walls up in a relationship. Okay. Um, as mad as you might be, as frustrated as you might be, you have got to at least keep the gate open. Okay. You might want to put those walls up, but you gotta leave some doors and windows open. You have to. You have to. Otherwise, you could potentially miss the moment when your significant other finds a way in that works for them so that you guys can meet in the middle. And that's real. Okay? Leave the door open. Leave the door open. Leave it open. Toya says Monique got to discover her own enlightenment and pray that he will follow in his own time. Boom. Toya, you hit the nail on the head with that right there. You hit the nail on the head with that. It and that's the thing about it. It's like everybody's spiritual journey, you can be on it with someone else and you can walk beside each other, but the view is going to be a little different for each person. So even if you walk in that same path together, you're going to experience different things on that same path, and that's okay. But you got to let that other person, somebody, at some point, someone's going to be in the lead a little bit and someone's going to be a little bit behind. But the hope is that even if that person is coming up in the rear, they got your back as you got their front. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Does she think she's smarter than Chris? No. Um, that's not the issue at all. I mean, the issue is really just that they're on a journey together. And I think there's a level of frustration that they're both not at the same space at the same moment. And I think there's a little bit of this as well. I mean, no relationship is going to be all the way perfect. There're going to be some things that, let me tell you something. In general, in relationships, there's going to be 80% of the things that you absolutely love. And then there's going to be 20% of things that you learn to or grow to love. You know what I'm saying? Or or grow to work with. And you successful relationships learn that balance. Brand new to math says when you find a brick being set up, you got to get your hammer and turn it to dust. Bricks create other bricks to form a wall. I mean, that's true. You got to figure out a way to break it down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Thank you for that super chat. Grow to accept. I mean, I think, Leandra, I think this is a point that some people don't really get. And yeah, and we got to remember too, like, I mean, these are two people who are going to be transparent enough to put their problems out there for social media because um the show is Love and Marriage, right? So we're going to get the real on the love and the marriage. And that's what's the real is. Hey, late night gossip. How you doing? I like your logo. Um they're both frustrating one another because they aren't really listening to each other. They need to truly take in what is being said before speaking. I agree with that. And I think honestly, a little bit of like therapy, I think will really go a long way for them to just be able to work things out. And it's unfortunate because we only really get to see 10 minutes of a situation. So, you know, I'm sure this will be to be continued for the next episode. Hey, that's dope. We love Storm over here. That's my boy. I He's a real one. I can tell you that. Storm is a real one. I can truly attest to that. Um, Amen. Yes, real people get tired of people. That's okay. We get over it. We're human. Erica, Erica, listen, we're gonna end it with that one. Erica said marriage is work. Clock in every morning and do the best you can. Snaps to that. Snaps to that. The benefit also of being on reality TV is that hopefully a lot of times you can look at yourself and you can look at these arguments and situations and you can learn and grow from them. And I honestly think that that's what we'll see them do. If you've ever been around the two of them in person, you honestly know that these are two people who are meant for each other. So what we see on TV, I mean, listen, I can just tell you that from personal experience. That's all I can say. Like they riding and they riding for each other regardless. That's what I do know. Erica, this is probably the quote of the year. Marriage is work. Clock in every morning and just do the best you can. Erica, girl, write that book. Okay. Go ahead and write that book. Because that's the word right there. That's for any relationship. Um All right, y'all. That's enough for the late night creep with Richie Skye. Okay. We'll be back tomorrow morning. We're gonna chat about um the nightcap with Carlos King. We'll do that. I'll put out a video for that early in the morning, and then about 11 a.m. we will be on live for Love and Marriage Huntsville, the review. I have a lot of thoughts about this particular episode. Okay. With that being said, y'all know that I love y'all. Make sure y'all have a good night, get some rest so we can get up and do this thing tomorrow. Okay. With that being said, I will catch y'all in the next video.